You live in fuck what nowhere, third world country, boring ass outside, and even if you could go outside, you can't because your legs don't work. What do you do for entertainment? Because I went to Reddit like an idiot, and now I open r/SBC Gaming to get the latest scoop on tech that threatens to empty my pockets like some sort of electronic fucking cocaine. And I caved, buying a Miu Mini, but the fix wasn't enough. Part of me knew that getting more shit would be bad in all sorts of ways, but I need to get a hit in, man. I can stop at any time, I swear. Addiction, I do not know the meaning of the word. Look, we can even buy one used, and I bought a goddamn DS. Part of this decision is caused by every discussion for the weekly new handheld always somehow circling back to how well it can play DS games. The question has been asked so much that the snake is eating its tail, and the new hotness are dual screens, which still get the common response of just get a DS. The best way to play DS games is on original hardware, because that's how they were designed by the Nintendo gods in the first place. It comes with caveats though, like dealing with faulty batteries, screens, and buttons. It's been more than 20 years since these things came out, and you are bound to have to tinker with it and then have to spend a whole day figuring out how to take a strip screw without proper tools. I already made a decision though, so what is it actually like to have a DS? I already made a takedown video about Chinese handhelds, pointing out that anything these little shits can do, my phone can do better. But that was never really the point, was it? It was never the point. Drugs and doom scrolling are basically the same thing, but people still buy the Magic Leaf instead of just scrolling YouTube all day because it's tactile, holding it in your hands, feeling the weight, smelling the blend. You could combo them and doom scroll while high, but personally, I wouldn't know. I don't do drugs. I buy outdated gaming handhelds. Do you know how shit it feels to play with a controller and then have to take my right hand off of it to touch the screen like a troglodyte? Sure, most DS games can be played entirely through the face buttons or with only the touchscreen. At that point though, I might as well not play the DS versions. The point is to have both the touchscreen and the working in harmony to achieve that perfect tactile sense, which is immediately defeated because, as I said, you will inevitably need to fix the DS at some point. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And that time came quicker for me than usual. You see, I only got that steep discount cause this model of mine is heavily used. So used in fact that the touchscreen went haywire and needed to be replaced. Now, I'm not much of a hardware guy. I can follow software instructions fine with a proper guide, but replacing a screen was out of my wheelhouse. And yet, someone still had to do it. Screwdriver, a new screen. Realized I bought a screen for a different fucking model. Got a new screen. Thankfully, did my research and knowing that the DS screen is made out of 2 parts and I only needed the touchscreen half. Open it, disassemble, get this tiny wire through this hole without breaking it. Success. Time to install and motherfucker, it short-circuited. You need an insulator on the metal back of the screen to keep it safe, and I didn't read the iFixit guide right. I acknowledge that this is entirely my fault, but still, time to learn how to solder. My only soldering tool is a huge girthy rod, and it's going to get the job done. Not well. I basically just put a blob of solder onto the broken fuse before putting electrical tape on the screen, but it works, and bada bing, bada boom, I can now actually play games, and I have no games. This part isn't that long, and that last bit was a lie. I actually do have games, if only to satisfy my addiction. Look, I wanted to pretend to be a collector, alright? This Dragon Quest is actually all in Japanese, and the booklet isn't even for the same game, so the collector dream might be dead in the water. Anyway, I actually got the R4 card at the same time as the DS. An R4 card is basically a DIY 100 games in one cartridge, and while I'm great at following software instructions, I did have to swindle my sister out of a good SD card to put inside the R4. So, sis, if you're watching this, that 128 SD card it's going to fail someday. I can finally do the one thing this gaming handheld is supposed to do, and actually play games on it. Now, part of the reason why people don't really want you to buy a DS, despite it being the repeatedly best answer of what's the way to play DS games, is that you're basically only going to play DS games. Like, man, you are running jack on this. It is a potato with a battery attached. No RetroArch and no Portmaster. Don't even dream about PS1. It is not happening. It can run GBA games natively, Game Boy games as well, with a little finagling. Sega Master System and Game Gear are also here decently, but honestly, why bother? This loops back around to the fact that my phone can do that and more. And did I really just buy a dual screen handheld to play single screen games? No, because that feels underwhelming. It feels like a waste of real estate. I got 2 screens, I'm going to use 2 screens. DS, take it or leave it. Here's the list of games I've played on this thing: Castlevania, Dawn of Sorrow, and Order of Ecclesia. My god, Shanoa is hot. Kirby Canvas Curse and Peggle DualShock. Gameplay perfection condensed into just a few inches. Pokemon Refined Platinum, because I am not ready to wait for the health bar to tick down at the speed of the fastest snail. Retro Game Challenge. The title does not lie. These are indeed challenging retro games. Rhapsody, a musical adventure. My DS Lite is pink, and so I have to be thematic with this shit. And the Piece de Resistance, all the DS Professor Layton games. You might think this list is small, and it is even smaller since I haven't gone far into most of these titles. Instead, I have sunk an ungodly amount of time into Professor Layton. I swear, I'm going to make a video about the plots. Just, how the fuck am I supposed to solve this? I have enjoyed my time with this device and have even gone to overcome the initial regret of falling for the drugs. It's constantly repeated that the best handheld is the one you already have, but I didn't buy a DS just to play games. The setup, the repair, even the regret, those were what I was after, to feel that plastic against my skin. Retro devices are on the rise, and this is exactly why. In the end, with all the complaining I just did, do I actually recommend you get a DS or any handheld for that matter? Yes I do. In the same way it's a good idea not to do all your work in one room, it's a good idea to not play all your games on one device. Just, for the love of God, actually use them please. These aren't dedicated dust containers, you know.